So good morning, welcome to a new pack number 5, and welcome to my new desk. This is the first video that I'm filming for the fire truck since I built the new desk, which I built back in May. So pack 5 has a total of 7 stages, with the exception possibly of 2 stages being normal. The rest are going to be really easy. So I'm going to split the pack into 2, starting with this video, which is going to be 4 issues. So good morning, let's start with the start of pack 5, which is stage 31, and today we're going to be assembling a storage compartment, and we start off with the parts checklist. Start with this one, which is the inner compartment. This is nothing that we've never really seen before. So we have a shelf top, which I believe this is the shelf top because we have 2 holes in it. We have shelf bottom. We've got an H-type screw, 3 H-type screws, which what I'm going to do is pop those straight into my little storage container before we lose them, straight into there. And we have got, I'm looking at inside the bag, and there's a bag sitting on top. So it looks like this one might be the left-hand door front, and the reason I say that is because I can see the words fast pack. And then we have a right-hand door front, which doesn't have the words fast pack. Then we have a door handle, which I'll pop there, and we have a magnet. Is that a magnet? Doesn't feel like. Yeah, it is a magnet. It's it feels a bit plasticky, but it is actually metal. And then that should leave us with a couple of parts. So we've got the left hand door back, the right hand door back. So these pretty much look the same to me, except for the position of this hole. And you can see that one's got L11, L12 on it. And then that leaves us with a switch, which is this one here, pretty standard. I think if you've done any part works before, you've seen this sort of thing before. So there we go. So let's begin with the construction, and first thing we need to do is take the storage compartment and the switch. Note that they both have a label indicating the on-off position. So we have got off is this way, so we have on there. Don't know if we can get a focus in there. On and off, so we can see it's in the off position. And what we need to do is take our storage container and we need to pop that in. And it looks like, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but it looks like they've put it this way round, because the wire is more in the middle. No, that doesn't seem to. Yeah, that's going to sit on top of there. It's not actually going all the way through. And what we need to do is take our H screws and gently screw that into place. As usual, the first one's going to be trickier because you know me, I don't like making contact with the components on the circuit board. There we go, that's the first one, just in nice and loose. And our second one can go in all the way until it gets tight. There we go, and then we'll just tighten the first one up again, and there we go, that's lovely. So there's our on-off positions. So next we have got we've got 2 doors, and it says take the left hand door front, which is the L11, so that's this one, little tiny bit grubby there, and we need to take our door front there, and I can see that that is the correct one. We've got L11, L11, so if we just double check that, L12, and that's L12, so that is correct. And then, as we've done before, we need to just apply a little bit of glue onto the two pegs, and then we'll glue those together. So just give the glue a little bit of a shake. My glue doesn't want to know today. I think I've got a bit of a block nozzle. Happens from time to time. Just check I've not put the wrong piece down. There we go. Sometimes I'll put the piece down, do something else, accidentally pick the wrong piece up, and the next thing you know, I'm trying to glue the wrong piece on. So position that on there like so, quickly before the glue dries. There we go, that's perfect. Give that a minute to set, and then we want to be doing the other door, which is exactly the same, obviously. And I can't remember, I'm sure I did, but I don't remember test fitting the previous one. You'll also notice with this one the pegs are different sizes, so you can't really get it the wrong way round. So there we go. There we go. Pop that one in and let that dry for a bit. So the next we want to do is take our door with the fast pack on it, which is our second door, and we want our door handle, and I'm looking for, there it is, there's a little flattened side on the handle, and there's a flat side there, so I can now see that it's going in that way. So it's like a little teardrop shape pointing downwards. So what I'll do with a cocktail stick is I'll just get a little bit of glue. What I like to do is just get, so a little bit appears just at the top. We can then just get our cocktail stick, wipe a little bit on, and then we'll apply a little bit of glue there, and doesn't want to play today. There we go, that's in place there. So there's our door handle. Sorry, I can't seem to be getting fantastic focus today. So the next step is taking our cabinet. We're going to be gluing that door onto there, and I can see that that is actually a really good fit. Some of these I've had been a terrible fit. So take no chances, take no prisoners, give the glue a little bit of a shake. Obviously people are using different glues. For some reason this is the strongest glue that I've ever used, and I absolutely love it, but if you're not shaking it on a regular basis, it just doesn't seem to want to glue. But once it sticks, it is amazing. So there we go. So give that a minute. Trying not to get, there we go, that's stuck really well. And can we guess what's next? Yeah, you've guessed it. We want to be putting the other door in. So that's going on the three little lugs on there, and that's a really good fit as well. That's really nice. So just like before, we apply a little bit of glue there, and it doesn't overly matter if you get a little bit of glue squidge, because this side bit isn't going to be showing, but obviously do try to make it as neat as possible. And there we go, there's a nice storage container made. Okay, so the last few bits that we need to be doing is that we need to take our top shelf, and on here we need to glue our magnet, and that's going to go into there like so. And whoa, that's what I'm going to do. The nozzle's going to be big enough for me to pop this in. I don't think that magnet is requiring super strength glue, so I'm just going to pop a couple of little dots in there, just enough just to hold that magnet in place. So there we go. You can't really see it because it's the same colour as the shelf, but that's absolutely fine. And that shelf, sorry, the next part of the shelf is going to go in like so. You see we've got a couple of little lugs there, and it does say to take glue, but we'll see how the fit is. Yeah. There we go. So I will apply a little bit of glue, and what I like to do is do the dry fit, push it in, and it felt like it was going to stay put, no problems, but with a little tiny bit of tugging I was able to take that out again. So we'll pop a little bit of glue in. You'll see there's a little lug at the back, and I believe we've done a shelf before. Right, so now we have to do a bit of a hunt on our spares sub-assemblies. We need our fire extinguisher from well, it says stage 10, and you'll see I'll explain why I'm querying the stage numbers. Right, so we have a little hole in the back of the fire extinguisher. You see we've got two lugs there. That is going, I didn't even notice this. You'll see there's two holes in the back of the cabinet, and this could be quite tricky if you've got big fat stubby fingers. And that's gone in fairly well actually. So there we go. That's not gone in really well. That second peg has a bit of a problem, but this isn't going to be taking a lot of knocks, so as long as that's not falling out, I would suggest that that's absolutely fine. And then we need to be popping this shelf in, and you'll see we've got this hole at the back there, and we've got two little runners there, and that wants to go in over the runners. You see you've got two runners there, and you will need this. You'll see that the shelf has got two holes on the top. Those two holes need to be upwards. I would suspect there's going to be something going in there, but not in this issue. So guys, that is issue 31 complete, and that's a nice little issue. I'm rather happy with that. So on to stage 32, and let's see if anybody is disappointed with this. And the reason I say disappointed is I know some of you guys are like me. You love to get stuck in. You don't care how many parts you get. You just want to build something. And if that is the case, you're not going to be happy with this issue. I can feel that the parts are quite quality parts, which is obviously really good. And these are actually beautiful as well as being quality. So this is the storage compartment frame, and you can see exactly what's going on just by looking at them. Like, you've got this little black line there, which is obviously going to be the bottom of the fire truck. You've got a couple of wheel arches, so you know this is going near the wheels, and you've got some of these red, yellow and white lines, so you know that that's going to run along. It's going to run well with the cabinet, so you know exactly what these are all for. Now we have also got some screws as well, and we've got, should have 3 8 screws, which I've got there, and that's going to go in there. I still haven't got to the mystery of the screws, which is sometimes we seem to get loads left over, and sometimes we seem to use every single screw, and I really don't know if they're giving us any spares. So I'm going to assume that they're not giving any spares at all. Yeah, so guys, now I've put my screws away and I've got my piece out. That is the end of stage 32. So I'm going to pop this away. I'm going to pop it up here, and we're going to move on to the next stage, which is, yay, this is a mixed emotion for me. I'm not generally thrilled by wheels. I find them a little bit tedious, and when you've got a lot of them, oh my god. But at the same time, they need to be done, and the quicker we get them, the happier I am. So yes, I am happy that we've got the wheels. So we have got 2 tyres, very nice tyres, just like the others really. And we have got an inner wheel, which is plastic, and we've got an outer wheel, very nicely detailed actually. Cannot complain about the detail on this. That's really nice. So what we need to do now, I have a bowl of hot water ready. I can't remember if we need it. Yeah, we're gonna need that, so let's plonk my tyres in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cut of about 2 minutes just while they soak. Okay guys, so I've given that about a minute, and so what we want to do is, being careful not to burn yourself, we want to take these tyres out, and you'll notice I'm doing it with tweezers because I don't want to dip my hand in the water, and I'm not sure if I've done this enough. Make sure you get all of the water out. Now the reason I don't think I've done this enough is I did get the hot water out ready for when I start filming, and because I'm using a ceramic dish, it has cooled down fairly rapidly. But what I'll do is we'll give this a go. If it isn't, then I'll just go off camera, I'll run some fresh hot water, and we'll try it again. So that's not too bad actually, not awful. So we're just going to pop our tyre into there. Now I like to push the wheel through halfway and then just try to manipulate that, and then just pull that down, and you'll see that's not quite in, that's not a problem. And what we do is we push one side, then we turn it around and we push it again, and we're effectively trying to push it out the other side, and then push it back out the other side again, and just do that just until it lines up. Now if you want to run a piece of plastic through there to sort of even that up, that's fine. I don't think I need to on this one. So this one's going to be a little bit trickier because I've got the post, but the principle should work the same. We just push that about halfway through and just continue. See, like I'm just pushing that through until that starts to catch there, and then we push this back in, and I think my tyre is quite cool actually, so we'll use the table if we can. There we go, perfect. Now be careful, because if you push your fingers on these little bits of detail there, it's going to hurt your fingers. Try not to push the post too much because you could snap it, it's only plastic. There we go, that's going. Now that would have been a lot easier if I'd have used hotter water, but you know me, I like to make life difficult for myself. So almost there, let's see, almost there. And that's, oh, there's a little bit, no, that's just kind of popped itself in, and then you see it's not quite in enough there, so we pull that back, and that's pushed that side out. So by pushing one side in, you kind of pull the other side out. So, but that has eventually gone in fine, and that is two very nice sets of wheels with the tyres. And what we need to do now is we need to take this tyre and we need to take this one. You see we've got 4 holes and we've got 4 pegs. I want to make sure this is the right way round. We just want to pop that in, just rotate it till those lugs match, and that isn't fitting. There we go, that's gone in. That is obviously a little, those holes are just ever so slightly smaller than they need to be. All the pegs are fatter, but if I just give that a good firm push, that's gone in fine. And there's our set of wheels, and that is that stage complete. Now it's not telling us to install the wheel, and I'm not going to install it yet, for the pure reason that it might actually take away too much of the build in the later stage. So stage 33 complete. So what we're going to do is the last stage of this video, which is stage 34, fitting the wheel to the chassis and assembling and fitting the front bumper. And we are looking for this stage parts here, and what we have got are the following parts. We've got a front left stabilizer, and again I have an ever so slight gripe that these are already part built, but you know, that's the way it is. We have got 2 type J screws, so you know me by now, these screws are going to go straight into the pot, and they're quite heavy duty screws actually. We've got 2 type L screws, and again these are going to go straight into the pot, and these are top hat screws. And then that leaves us with a hubcap, which obviously you've seen this before for the wheels. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our chassis, and we need to, it says to turn it over like this, but I'm just going to turn it this way. I think that's going to work just as well. And we need to take our wheel, and I'm really happy now because look, we've got 1 back wheel in, we've got 2 front wheels, and although this isn't all of the wheels, we've still got 2 more to do. Now we've got a bit of balance to it, and that's just going to go in over that peg there like so, like that, and you'll see the peg will just come flush with the wheel, and there we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to fix that in place with a type L screw, which is one of the top hat screws, as you can probably see there. And we're going to screw this, I'm sure there's a joke there, screw this, screw you. Right, so that's going in nicely, and we're just going to screw that in until it's tight, but we still get free movement on that wheel. So being careful not to bang the chassis against anything. I don't know what would be worse, damage to the chassis or damage to the table. So that is actually gone in fine first time. There's a little tiny bit of, let's see if I can just tighten that just slightly. Quite often what I find myself doing with the wheels is I tighten them and I just give them about a quarter turn to loosen them again, and that's really nice. That's now on there nice and square. So the next step then is to put the hubcap over the screw, and that will just cover that screw up. So we will go from this to this, and that went in very easy. So there we go, that's in nice. No, that's not going in nicely. That's not staying in. That's way too loose. So yeah, that's going to fall out. I've noticed actually the front wheel has got a hubcap missing, and I think maybe that was so loose that it fell out. So saying that, it's not falling out on its own, so I'm not really sure what to do about that. That's a little bit too big. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm gonna review that at a later stage. Thankfully I know where it'll, if it does fall out, I know where it'll fall out because of the way I store things. Right, so what we need to do now is, looking in our sub-assemblies, we need to take this part that we've assembled earlier, and this is the front bumper. So we take our front bumper, which is looking a little bit unbalanced at the moment, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our stabilizer and make sure it's the right way around, which I didn't do there. See, there's a little hole there, and that's going to go in like that, and it's going to line in with with a screw hole and a peg. So obviously the end hole goes over that peg, and what we need to do is fix that with, where's it gone, a type J screw, which I've just lost all my screws because I haven't lost them, I've moved them, and one type J screw, and that's going to go into that hole there just like we did with this one. I can see, it's funny, I don't remember putting that other stabilizer on, but there it is with the screw in it, so I obviously did pop it in. Oh dear, that's a lot of screwing for a small screw. Right, so there we go, so there's our stabilizer in, and now we have the front bumper, which is looking a little bit more even. I do remember putting that in. So as you see there, it's spring loaded. So what we need to do now is take the front of our fire engine, and let's find a bit of a space. So what we need to do now is line up these two holes there. There's the two holes, and we're lining that with the two holes in the front of the fire truck, and that's going to go in like so. Wow, every little piece we add to this just adds a bit of something, and then that's going to be fixed with, now that's obviously not going to stay there, so what I'm going to do is that I need two J screws, so I'm going to put one on the table ready, and I'm going to load my screwdriver up with the other. And what we need to do, I think you know exactly what's coming, we're going to line these two screw holes up, and you can feel when they're in nicely. We're going to turn the whole assembly over, and you can see from a distance where those screw holes are, and I'm cheating a bit. I'm going to pop this down on a piece of paper. I want to get that first screw in place there. Just doesn't need to be in fully, but at least now that front piece isn't going to fall off, and then we can pop this second screw in and then we can just double check the fit, and once we're happy with that fit we will continue. I'm going to use a different screwdriver. I don't think I've got the right screwdriver head in, so let's always revert back to the Agora screwdriver, and that is really stiff actually. That's because it's a metal screw. That's fine. That's not in fully. I'm just going to pick this one up level. Kind of gives me a bit of a rest, and it's just going to stop the whole thing from going in at an angle. Alright, still happy with the fit. Still quite a way to go with these screws. I think they've got I think it's called a high thread count, like the amount of times you need to turn it per centimetre is very high. It means you're going to do a lot more turning, but it also means there's a lot more grip. This is actually really hard work. Now what I'm finding is as I'm turning, I'm just catching this bit, so do be careful if you're doing the same. Right, almost there, almost there. Now I have an electric screwdriver, but I really don't think that would be suitable here. There we go, that's going. Oh, there we go. Right, so that's now not moving. That's fixed on there. So I am actually really happy with that. So I was about to say we've got suspension for the, it's not really suspension, but the weight of this cab will push those right down, so there will be no bounce. So don't do that, it's just going to go thud. Right guys, so that is that stage complete, and yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Now if you were to download the instructions, you may be as confused as I am. You may recall in a previous video I said that this hasn't been fitted as per the instructions yet. That's why I've not fitted it. Now for stage 34 it's now showing you a picture of this on the chassis, which would suggest that this has been fitted. However, if you go backwards a little bit to the very end of the last stage 34, we're screwing these screws in, and you can tell that if this was fitted, that would be absolutely impossible to fit those screws in. So I believe this has definitely not officially been fitted, and I think it may not be fitted for a while. Right guys, so that is the end of that stage. I'm really happy. We've done 4 stages. One of those stages was a non-build, which is, so effectively you've got 6 stages and we've just done 3. So hopefully you will join me in the next issue when I will be doing stage 35, 36 and 37, which is assembling the box frame shell, which is going to be doing more work to this, assembling a storage compartment and a rear door, and assembling a storage compartment. So take care guys, and I hope to catch you next week.